Amma Jaya 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 Amma Amma Jaya 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 Amma Amma Jaya 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 So, an example of unconsciousness or lack of consciousness. I walked into the barn tonight in the dark to take care of the chickens, and I wanted to check to see if there were any eggs in the brooding space. So it's kind of a low space down like this. I remembered to do that, but what I forgot, because I didn't have my phone flashlight, was that there's a lovely bowl of water as you enter. And I was conscious of many things as I entered that space, but not conscious of the bowl of water. So my right foot found its way right in the bowl of water. And then I remembered that it was there. I hopefully will remember that next time too, before I step in it. So, as we consider what we're aware of, what we're conscious of, what we're not, of course we really can't consider that too much, can we? Because we're not conscious of it, we can't really talk about it. Which is most of what we're living in, according to Matt, anyway. There was a moment when a young person approached Jesus and said, "Jesus, tell me what I must do. Tell me what I must do." And Jesus said to this person, "Well, you know what you must do." That's probably a good place. He could have stopped it right there, and just turned around and walked away. You know what you must do. You know the commandments. He listed a few. And the young person said, I've done it all. I do it very well. What else is there? And I'm sure Jesus smiled at that point, and then said to the young person, "There's one thing left for you to do. Give it all away. Let go of everything and everyone, and come follow me." The young person walked away and didn't take Jesus up on the offer. Another moment, somebody asked Jesus, "What is the greatest commandment?" Sounds like somebody who is diligent in studying things, What is the greatest commandment? And Jesus responded, love. Love God with everything you've got. And love your neighbor as yourself. So, I guess what I want to ask is this question tonight. What does it mean to love God? What does it mean to love God?
A way of showing you love your parents is honoring them. So, if God, He's considered our Father in heaven. So honoring Him would be the way of showing.
a feeling. I don't really have a word for it. It's something like a tremendous respect and appreciation and like awe that God is there and is what they are, and but it all just comes up in this kind of some sort of feeling sense rather than words to describe it well.
Maybe to keep an open heart towards all people, all things. It all is God, it all comes from God. So to always keep an open heart and to remember God. To focus your attention on God. And like Tim said, you have to have a tremendous respect for it. And like Michael said, to honor it. But as much as you can remember God, then keep your heart open and always be loving God.
I don't think I have words for the love, for love. It's a feeling. But I imagine what it means to live it, to live loving God with everything, means loving God in His creation, which means having that Tim kind of uses the word big love, and yeah, I like that word because it just intensifies the feeling that I can already relate to as love. And that's got to be for everything, everyone and everything, and even the people we wish we could hate. I think that's what it means, what's expected.
Touching on all those points, I feel that God is the energy of everything that is around us. Call it the source of life, but the all-encompassing energy and everything that we see, touch, feel is all manifestation of that. So, in my opinion, in order to show love to that energy, to that source, to that God, is to live harmoniously with that same energy, which, as Barb, you said, is everything, it's everyone, it's everything around us. So in order to show your love is to understand that it's everything around us, to appreciate everything around us, and to live in a way that doesn't disrupt the universal harmony, is the right term for it, the balance of nature.
I might say that it has something to do with like having like a gratitude for everything there is. It's like whatever exists, whatever is what it is, you have like a gratitude for it and a thankfulness for it.
What did Jesus mean when he said, love God? We're 2,000 years removed from that time.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess what I want to leave you with tonight is another question. It's lovely, everything you just said. And very helpful. what did Jesus mean when he said, love God? With your heart, soul, your mind, your body, your strength. I guess it comes down to like, who was God for Jesus? And I'm going to suggest to you that it's a little more fun. There's great joy in loving God. And I don't mean that in a trivial way. I mean it like this. When I was 12 years old, I fell in love with Rini Jakubik. She was the only bleached blonde girl in the neighborhood. She was a Polish girl. She had lovely lips. She was a good kisser. And of course I fell in lust with her. And one day I was able to get a kiss from Rini Jakubik. And I flew off on my Schwinn bicycle, banana seat. I don't know if you guys ever seen it. High handlebars. And at the top of my lungs, I kind of shouted, I'm in love! And there was great energy there, right? Some years later, many years later, I was, before I took monastic vows, I was living in Ireland, and I fell madly in love with an Irish woman. Don't ever go to Ireland, because that's what will happen. And this time, there was no Schwinn bicycle with a banana seat and high handlebars. There was just me walking through a forest. And I remember this like it was yesterday. I looked at a raindrop on a leaf, and I saw God in the raindrop. I can't explain that, but it was just so clear to me that this raindrop was so lovely and beautiful, just sitting there on the leaf. In that moment, I saw God. And I guess what I'm trying to say is that Jesus, I believe, had a very profound understanding of God as deeply personal. God was personal. God wasn't place or practice. God was personal. And Jesus was crazy ass in love with God. In the same way that St. Francis was crazy ass in love with God. Do you remember what St. Francis called poverty? Somebody once asked Francis, said, hey Frankie, are you in love? And Francis said, yes, she's so beautiful. And they said, well, I thought you were taking vows of celibacy. He said, yes, I have. Well, how can you be in love with somebody who's so beautiful? She's so beautiful, he said. And her name is Lady Poverty. It was his way of saying he was in love with God as person. And he would hear God speak to him in the silence of his soul, in a raindrop, in an experience. He would hear God speaking to him as person. For Jesus, all you have to do is look in the Gospels, and you hear him talking to God all the time. Father this, Father that. And he went off at night, and he spent sometimes whole nights in prayer. He wasn't practicing a technique. He was communing with his beloved. And as a result of that, when he came out, he was full of energy. He was full of love, of power. And it was all because he was loving God, and God was loving him. And out of that mad entanglement, of lovemaking, so to speak, he was energized. I'll close with a song. shine softly, gentle light. You guide us, faithful friend. You love us when the night is fallen and the moon shines softly, gentle light. You guide us, faithful friend. You love us when the night is fallen and the moon shines softly, gentle light. You guide us, faithful friend. You love us when the night is fallen and the moon shines softly, gentle light. You guide us, faithful friend. You love us. There was a runner by the name of Eric Liddell. He ran in the Olympics, and he ran like the wind. And one time he was asked, "What do you experience when you run?" Because when he ran, at a certain point, his head would fly back, and he would just take off like a bird in flight. And he said, when that happens, I feel the pleasure of God. May it be so for us.